struggling, so I'm not going to make you go and get the questions, and we'll read them off the screen.
Yeah.
Craig Burley's struggling a little bit today. He's been overworked. He'd like to add on debate.
You know when you talk, I've got a little throat infection, and you know when you talk, you get that little tickle in your throat, and it just annoys the hell out of me. It's just horrible. But
well,
it
doesn't annoy us, Craig. We like your coffin. That is good. It's good.
You like me in a coffin, did you say? You're not alone, Jan. You're not alone.
Oh my God. We can't have this humour.
Lost in translation.
Right.
Lost in translation.
He said, we'd like you in a coffin. It's not. Remember this.
I like your coffin.
It's not the coffin.
I heard what you heard, Craig.
It's not the cough that kills you. It's the coffin they carry you off in.
So with that, let's get to the first
it's a very
question.
morbid show today.
Mario Melchiot's with us. Aage Fjortoft, as you've probably seen. Mario, if something like what's happening with Marcus Rashford took place in your playing days, what would the locker room be like?
I mean, I had some captains in my team, you know, like the first I started was with Dennis Wise. Okay, if someone is not aware of him, I will tell you, he's like a shorter guy, but has a fuse like an animal, like crazy, incredible. He will have a go at you. He will tell you, put you straight and make you understand what the team needs from you and what the club needs from you. And if you don't agree with it, he will make sure that you understand it. And if not, he will try to get you out. Later on, I had Aage that took his job over. It was the same thing, you know. It was a proper leader, and we're making sure that you understand what to do. When John Terry came, it was kind of different because he came later, he was younger, so the effect wasn't. He had effect, but not like that. But Aage was the last one to say, like, hey, he won everything, including the World Cup. So if he says something, you kind of want to listen to it when you're a young boy.
Fair enough.
We discussed this in the main show, didn't we?
Yeah. Because you said that, you know, where are the leaders in this Manchester United locker room to actually give Marcus Rashford?
Now, I played with Dennis as well for, probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 years as well. But there was always people in the dressing room that would just sort it out. And as you get a bit older and a bit more experience, you can become one of those guys. And, you know, even yourself, if you are not pulling your weight, would expect... If I wasn't pulling my weight when I went to Celtic, for example, I would have expected one of the other senior players, and we had a lot of them, in that dressing room to pull me to the side. Say, Burley not good enough. Because we had captain of Denmark, we had Norwegian international, we had like Henrik Larsson, we had Germans, we had Italians, and you know, guys like Paul Lambert had won the Champions League. You didn't get away with not pulling your weight. And they didn't mind. And even the guys that didn't go out for a drink, right? Even the guys that didn't want to be mixing with a larger group, they didn't have a problem with you going out and having a few beers. As long as you come in, right?
And do your job.
Rolled your sleeve up, got a sweat on, trained hard, and did your job on a Saturday. They were okay with that. And that's how it should be.
What about you, Jan?
Well, we can take Middlesbrough. We had Nigel Pearson. He was one of those leaders. We were different leaders. And then then we came to a time when we got Branco from Brazil. And you know, remember, Kay, when Branco came in, we were wondering, did he win the World Cup in '58? Or which year did he win the World Cup? And the only thing he said when he had a go at someone, he said, I just won the World Cup. What can I say? So you have kind of different types in a dressing room. But I said it in the show and I say it again. I do understand that the situation in 2024 is different than back in our days, but there is no compromise on attitude. There is no compromise on attitude because we play a team sport. We are not individuals. If you're an individual sport, you're the only one suffering. If you don't have a good attitude, you hurt the player sitting next to you, and that is not acceptable.
I still have nightmares about big Nigel Pearson.
so do I.
Yeah, and I don't mean that because Nigel Pearson's a lovely guy, but he's a big unit, right? As we all know, and I have visions of he tried to bust in the away dressing room door at Sheffield Wednesday because our Russian goalkeeper Dmitry Karin got involved with Mark Bright during the first half of this match at Hillsborough. And Brighty had been throwing a few elbows about, as Brighty did. And walking down the tunnel, Mark Bright's walking down the tunnel at half-time, and Dimitri Karin ran up behind him and kung fu kicked him in the back of the head, right? Bosh,
as you do. As you do.
And then Dimitri ran into the dressing room, and Brighty's chasing them down the players' tunnel to the dressing room. And then standing there is Nigel Pearson, who is injured or suspended, has realised what has happened and is trying to basically kick the Chelsea dressing room door open. And I'm one of the young players at this time, right? And I'm thinking, if Nigel Pearson gets in here, we're in trouble.
Where am I going to hide?
And it was a bit like that film where one of the war films, I can't remember what it was, where somebody was trying to break a door in and a person put their arm across the bars and their arm got broken. It was like, keep your arm there. Oh my God.
He was a tough captain. He was a tough captain, and he was also a practical joker. When Juninho was having a shower at Borough, and somehow he managed to let him think, our captain, that it was a shampoo that he gave him, and Juninho has spent 4 or 5 days to get it out of his hair. I have no idea what he brought into that young Brazilian's hair, but it was not shampoo.
Oh dear.
Sorry to digress, as we did digress there, but the situation got calmed down. Somebody must have sedated Nigel with some big syringe or something, I don't know. And
taking a bear tranquilizer.
Oh my God. And Dimitri Karin decided that English football, because it was his first year, crazy English football, crazy, no more. Took his gloves off, right? Took his gloves off, Mario, all his kit, and got in the shower at half-time. And Peter Shreves and Glenn Hoddle spent the whole half-time trying to convince him to go back on the field. No, he was going like that. No play. Crazy English football, football, no play. So he went, yeah, you're going to have to play. You have to play. So eventually they talked him into playing. He put his gloves back on. And he went back. He stood in his line, right? He never come off his line for 45 minutes because Brighty kept shouting, "Put the ball in the box! I'm going to kill the goalkeeper!" Oh my God! You know, you talk about foreign players coming in and just seeing that physicality and what the things that used to go on. But trust me, if you've been behind the dressing room door that Nigel Pearson's trying to break into, you know you've been behind the dressing room door, is what I'm trying to say. A lovely guy, but he's a big old boy, Nigel.
Very scary.
It's also normal though, when you come into England, as you know, like when you come from the outside, you arrive in England, you think everything is the same. Like, especially when you're young. Like me, when I came from Amsterdam, I thought, oh, I'm just coming to London, just a different city, and oh my God, you walk into that dressing room. Those guys are just on another level. Like the way they talk, the way they behave. Like you talked about the Dennis Wise. He is this short, but his character is 10 times bigger than myself. And I was like, how does that work? How can you have so much charge? And then one day in the game, I let it go. We play Sunderland away, and I say to Dennis Wise, hey, take it easy. Oh my God, I should have never said that to him. I said to him, take it easy. He said, you don't tell me to take it easy. I tell you to take it easy. You just do your job and I do mine. And when I tell you something, you listen to me. I looked at him, I was like, you little man, what are you gonna tell me? But it doesn't work like that in England. You better keep quiet and show them. When you show them that you know how to play, that's when you get your respect. If you don't do that, don't talk. Don't talk.
I love it. Take it easy. It's like telling
that's the longest answers to one question.
That's fine. That's what this one's all about. We like your personal experiences.
I might not make it through this show with this.
There's only a few more questions.
With this disease that I've got.
Hang in there, all right?
You'll be fine.
Hang in there.
I can't even blame Stevie, who has ESPN FC's walking infection.
You could, because if he was here, you might have to work a little bit less.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, he needs babysit.
The whole
needs a
football world
babysitter.
wants you. The whole football world wants you to go through this show, Craig. So hang in there. Come on, son. Come on, son.
You got it.
Hang in
I
there.
tell you what, Wednesday we're doing Barcelona. I'm having a day off. I've decided. I can't. Well, I tell you what, I can't phone in now, can I? Because I've already said
no.
that, so I can't do it. I can't do a Marcus Rashford now on Wednesday. I can't phone him because the boss will see through that one. He'll go, yeah, he was talking about that.
But you have been
And you
talking
can't-
all show.
I know. I'm
And
not.
you
You might
can't
get away with
say.
it.
And Craig, you can't say you're leaving after the seasons either because Klopp and Xavi's already done that. So you can't do that.
Well,
Well,
I know, but apparently that's not a two-way street. The boss might say to me, "You're leaving after the season." I've had enough of you Scottish. Whatever. Anyway, we'll move on.
Let's move on. Jan, if the Bayern Munich job becomes available this summer, which team should Xabi pick? Bayern or Liverpool? Or would he be better off staying at Leverkusen for a couple more years and maybe wait for Real Madrid?
Well, I think that it's been said, and all pundits will say that, former footballers will say that if you get offered one of the big clubs, we talked about Ten Hag being in Amsterdam, Ajax, and you have the chance to go to Manchester United. Yes, there were some red flags hanging around there as well, but I think that Alonso, when he is at Leverkusen at the moment, if he get the offer to go to Liverpool or Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, that will be a tough choice. But I think he would definitely say yes to Real Madrid. He will definitely say yes to Liverpool. I think he's different but Bayern because he's battling them out at the moment. But there are suggestions that Alonso is inexperienced. Does he need more years under his belt? But the job he's done in Leverkusen is amazing. And when you saw him as a player, he was a coach even then. So I think that Xabi Alonso, if he gets offered the Liverpool job, I think he will take the Liverpool job. He got offered the Bayern job, he wouldn't take it now.
Mario, you've got him taking the Liverpool job, right, as your favourite?
Yeah, definitely. You know, like I think, you know, for Alonso, the things that you achieve now as a player, like, you know, like you guys already highlighted, but I think when you have seen so many players have taken this job and have come home and thinking like this is a tough situation to do because it asks a lot, you know. Sometimes it's even heavier than, I think not sometimes, it's definitely heavier than a player because as a player you only have to think about yourself. As a coach, you got to think about the team. So having said that, I think at Liverpool, it won't be easy because we highlighted that they have to rebuild the way Klopp was playing and the way he wants to play. But for him to being at Liverpool, I'm sure the people will accept him and will understand him and will love to have him as their manager, especially of what he is achieving now. If they're going to bring in somebody else, we have to see if they come in with that kind of level of achievement in the sense of like the belief that he's bringing with him. I think that's one of the key things that the Liverpool fans want. And then, yeah, what you said, Real Madrid, a Spanish kid, saying no to Madrid, but still Liverpool, come on.
I'll put it one way. Whatever happens, he's in a very good position at the moment.
Yeah.
He's in a really good position.
He's really good.
And in the Bundesliga table as well right now.
Well, they're dropped a couple of points at the weekend.
Yep.
So, you know.
Still a team to catch though. All right, which job is more...
Big game, Feb 10th.
Are you nervous?
Don't know if I'm going to make it. just
Which job is more difficult for a manager to fix now? Manchester United, Barcelona or Chelsea?
Wow. I don't think Barcelona just... Don't forget, let's not forget Barcelona won the league last year.
Yeah.
Right, so there is that. Yeah, there is that. Wow.
It's Manchester United, Craig, definitely.
Yeah.
That is the toughest.
Why, Jan?
Because at the moment, I mean, yes, there is optimism now with Sir Jim Ratcliffe's coming in. They're coming in with Brailsford with his 1% philosophy and all that kind of thing. Fine. But are we speaking now, Manchester United is a mess. And because nobody knows if they will have a job in the summer. Nobody knows who will come in, how much money, what kind of player will Sancho come back? What happened to Rashford? What will they do with the squad? How much money can they spend? Ten Hag coming in as a general, and he can't lead them the disciplinarian way he wants them to lead them. So definitely, Manchester United from the big clubs at the moment, definitely. Chelsea is a kindergarten if you compare with them. At least Pochettino got a young set of lads. He knows where he's going. He knows how much money they have spent and so on. Manchester United, by far, the most troubled club at the moment.
Yeah, at least there's no sort of mutinies at Chelsea. Don't get me wrong, it's not been very pretty, and there's been a lot of crazy spending, but there's not been these off-field issues from multiple players. It's just what Chelsea have had is a group of players that have been thrown together and haven't played particularly well. Yeah. So I was trying to get off the Man United bandwagon, and that's all it was. I was trying to find a way where somebody went, say Burley doesn't hate Man United, and then Jan dragged me back towards him. Yeah, even though he wants me dead.
Even though he wants you in a coffin. Mario, what do you think?
It sounds funny, but I totally agree. Because I think Barcelona is not the club that is that compared to what the other two are. The socials are leading that team, and Xavi is clearly a local boy. He's also affected by this situation, his whole family. When you look at Chelsea, I think Pochettino, at least he steadied the ship. I don't say that it's already moving forward as high as they want it to be, but it's definitely, he calmed it down a little bit. So Man United, there is no calmness yet there because there's so many stories coming out of that camp. They first have to make sure, close the door and keep the stories inside and make sure they hit the discipline level in the sense of that everybody understand I am the leader and you follow me. If that doesn't happen, because it's Fergie, Fergie is a perfect example of like I lead, follow. And if that doesn't happen, it will continue like this.
Craig, next question. How good is Lamine Yamal?
Well, he didn't play so well at the weekend. He was all right. The Betis game, he was terrific. Look, what is he still 16? I think he's still 16.
Yeah.
He is a terrific talent, and he's another one of these players that has the world at his feet. But I'm always reticent with these youngsters because it's such a long journey, and there's so many things can happen. But if all the stars align for him, and the trajectory continues, and the manager that comes in continues, and kids are getting a chance, and he stays healthy, he can be a star, a superstar.
Yeah.
But he could quite easily go the other way, and that's how precarious it can be for these kids, and that's why it's always difficult to say that guy's going to be the next Messi or that guy's, because it's such a tough journey to it's tough enough to get there as a player, as the guys will know, but once you get there, you have to stay there, and then you have to improve, and you have to stay fit, and you have to want to train hard, and then you have to have good people behind you that are advising you properly, and all the things we've talked about over the last hour or two today. That's some of the problem with these players, that the whole picture is not sort of working for them.
Mario, last question. If I was travelling to Europe for the first time, what's the better option? Night out in London or a night out in Amsterdam?
Hey, listen. I tell you, both are great. You understand? I don't do it anymore because since I moved over here, parties is not for me anymore. But I say, look, London, it will always be my city. I'm sorry for Amsterdam, and I think it's great. I'm from there. I go home a lot. But London is this place where you want to be because it's always great. A night out in London, make sure the next day you have some people around you that make sure that you recover really well, because if not, you'll be in trouble.
How can you mention, right, there's three places for a night out, I've heard. I'm way too old for all this now, like the boys. Well, there's more than 3 places, but London, Amsterdam, and wait for it, Barnsley.
No, come on, where is that?
Yeah,
can't beat Barnsley. You can't beat Barnsley. It's just like watching Brazil. That is Barnsley.
Jan, come on, be honest now. Come on.
Best night out you can have in your life is Swindon, Barnsley, Middlesbrough, and Sheffield. Forget London and Amsterdam, Mario.
Jan, if you come to Amsterdam, I'll tell you something. Look, I want to be polite, but you might not remember that you've been in London. That's how good it is.
We have a deal. We have a deal.
I like that. I like that. Okay, we'll end it there. We'll let this one get some rest.
I'm not going for rest.
A long rest.
A long rest. He wants me having a long rest. Fjortoft, he wants me gone.
Let's see if he makes it tomorrow.
Come to my funeral, please.